Hey there, it's Wes from CyberFOX. You know what one of the most frustrating problems with cybersecurity today? It's you see how frustrating that is? That's the user experience when it comes to UAC. You know, the whole user account control system privileges that have been set up by Windows. Now, at CyberFox, we're not hating on it. In fact, it's a critical component of what we do. But let's think about why it's such a challenge and a frustrating point for end users. At the end of the day, it becomes a gatekeeper. And it makes sense that Microsoft developed this because they wanted to separate what's in user space and what's sort of in the administrative task world. It's a way to sort of say, hey, these are a set of tasks that can't be performed on the operating system unless it runs with elevated privileges and control. Now, the idea behind this is simple, of course. It's Microsoft's method of making it more difficult for malware to operate when it doesn't run with administrative privileges. But the challenge was not in the idea, it was actually in the implementation. Because the idea behind UAC is such that before this process can go and run with the admin privileges it needs, we're going to put a checkup. And we're going to have the user be the one that goes and decides, should this run with administrative privilege or not? Now, in Microsoft's mind, if I can just insert myself back into that day when they were developing this, who are the people that were creating the operating system? It was engineers. Who are the people thinking about how the UAC might be useful? It was the engineers. So engineers would naturally think, oh yeah, we can put this stop setting here and make users investigate it and click it and see if this makes sense for them. In reality, the 99 percentile of users are not technical. So when UAC comes up in front of them, all they see it as is, guess what? Literally a task in front of them that gets in their way. And they're not going to have the capability or the education or the insights nor the time to go and research all of this and say, well, does this make sense or does it not? Should I click on this or should I not? What we've basically done here, my friends, is we've turned UAC into Pavlov. The second they see UAC, they just whack past it. Click past, click past, click past. And if you're honest, even as an administrator, you have done the same thing, haven't you? I know I have. So this is a frustrating challenge. The problem isn't with UAC. We need a gatekeeper. The way Linux does this is hard-coded privileges that the user can't bypass. The way Windows has done this is let the user decide. That's a much more friendly way to go, but it doesn't really add much to security, does it? Enter CyberFOX. This is what we do. We actually leverage the UAC failures in its implementation as a strength. What we do at CyberFOX is before UAC can operate, we're going to go and look at policy. And we're going to say, is there policy that exists that allows this action to happen? If it does, then we will pass over to UAC the privileges necessary to accomplish that task. If it's unknown, then we'll pause it and we'll let administrators see it and decide what to do. And they can give a one-off approval or they can approve it by policy. It's extremely granular. It can work at hash levels. It can work at certificate levels. There's all sorts of ways you can build this policy. But what we're doing is we're turning UAC's weakness into a strength. We're giving it the capability to not get in the user's way. So, you know, the next time one of those SolidWorks applications tries to run and it requires elevated privileges because that's just how they operate, now we have policy that gets in front and it's pretty much transparent to the user and they get to have a great user experience while we are also not giving out full system administrator privileges everywhere we go. And also, we've removed the UAC from being a Pavlov response. Check us out at CyberFOX. If you want to know more about this, why it's awesome and how it works, check out right here below. We'd love to have a conversation with you about UAC, about privileged access management, and how we can help. Thanks.